me or leaning on others, I'd like you to bring to mind someone who you lean on when you have a need. Just bring to mind a person or persons that you lean on. It's good to acknowledge that we have those people, and we might want to give them a blessing, a thank you. Now we're going to turn that around. How about, is there anyone that you know that leans on you at times? Bring to mind those that know that you're there for them and that you can lean on them. Or they can lean on you. I don't know which one. Lean on you. It's a lot of leaning, you know. What can you say? But to recognize that we have others that will lean on us. And that's such a gift that we're available for others to lend a helping hand or to have listening ears. Sometimes people just need to be heard, to be seen, you know, and we can do that for one another. So today's talk title is Love in Action, which you always hear pretty much at the beginning of a service. Love in action, and by the way, love in action is not 3 words, it's 1 word in my mind. You know, the little hyphen in there helps that happen. So it's love in action, 1 word. I'm going to begin with a story, and this is about Captain Charles Plum. Plum was a U.S. naval jet pilot in Vietnam, and after 75 combat missions, his plane was destroyed by a surface-to-air missile. By the way, this is a true story. Plum ejected and parachuted into enemy hands, where he was captured and spent 6 long years in the communist Vietnam prison. He survived this ordeal, and then he received the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, the Legion of Merit, and 2 Purple Hearts, returned to America and spoke to many groups about his experience and how it compared to our everyday living. I'm like, really? But he learned some things. Shortly after he came home, Charles was in a restaurant having a dinner with his wife, and there was a man in the nearby table who rose up, walked over, and said, "You're Plum. You flew jet fighters in Vietnam from the aircraft carrier Kitty Hawk, and you were shot down." Plum was surprised that he had been recognized, because he didn't recognize this guy, and he said, "How in the world did you know that?" The man replied, "I packed your parachute." Charlie looked up in surprise. The man pumped his hand and gave a thumbs up. "I guess it worked." Charlie stood and shook the man's hand and assured him it most certainly worked, because if it didn't work, I wouldn't be here today. That night, Plum couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about that man, and he wondered how many times I might have seen him on the ship, not even saying good morning, how are you, or anything, you see, because I was a fighter pilot, and he was just a sailor. He thought of the many hours that sailor spent bending over a long wooden table in the bottom of the ship, carefully folding the silks and weaving the shrouds of each chute, each time holding the fate in his hands of someone he didn't know. Now Plum asks his audience, "Who's packing your parachute?" Everyone has someone who provides what they need to make it through the day. Captain Plum also points out that he had many kinds of parachutes. He needed the physical parachute, his mental parachute, his emotional parachute, and spiritual parachute. He called on these supports while he was in his long and painful 6-year ordeal. Sometimes in the daily challenges that life gives us, we miss what's really important. We may fail to say hello, please, thank you, to congratulate somebody on something wonderful that has happened to them, to give a compliment, or just do something nice for someone for no reason. As you go through this week, this month, and this year, recognize the people who pack your parachutes. Yeah, that kind of goes right into that lean on me. So I don't know about you, but have you ever felt somewhat lonely, isolated, kind of separate from the world? Anyone? Come on, we all have had that experience. We have it, maybe, and we'll have it today. There's times where we just feel separated from others. And that's kind of like our life is, because we're born dependent, and then we're taught to become independent and take care of yourself. However, are we ever taught the balance of those two, to be interdependent? Because whether we think about it or not, we're so 100% interdependent. I want you to think about the clothes that you have on. Let's say your shirt. Where did it come from? Who helped create this shirt? Who and where? You know, what country? Where did it come from? Who worked on it? Who provided the material? Who put these things together? Who ran the machines that would have put them together, unless you have something hand-sewn? And how did it get here? By what type of vehicle? Plane or boat or a semi-truck? See, everything, including the chair you sit on, the food that you eat, the building that you're in, the car that you drive, the roads that you go down. Everybody has put things into those things, and we don't think about it. Although I do sometimes. When I'm on a road, I'm like, who built this road? I can't even imagine, you know, the ones going over the mountains and through mountains and all that. I'm just like blown away by that thought in itself. So the truth is, we are interdependent. Everything has an element of someone else's energy within it. Say that again. Everything has an element of someone else's energy, and I would say someone else's because there's going to be more than one that has put energy into what you have. So whether we really realize it or not, many people contribute to my life in infinite numbers of ways. And it's all spirit, serving spirit, whether we are aware of that or not. So how many of you have ever volunteered to help someone in any way? Yeah, we want to help others. How many of you have volunteered here at Unity Santa Fe? How many of you would like to? Okay, just saying. So I have news for you. We don't have any volunteers at Unity Santa Fe. What? You just asked. We don't have volunteers. We have sacred servers. Sacred servers. And what's the difference between a sacred server and a volunteer, you ask, right? You ask that, right? Yeah, since you just said that, explain, please. So, these sacred servers, I'm going to read this because it's an excellent article by Rachel Naomi Remen, and I'm only going to read a portion of it. In the Service of Life. You can look this up online, the article called In Service of Life, Rachel Naomi. And if you just put that, you'll probably get the whole thing because Google's so smart, right? So she writes, in recent years, the question is, how can I help? Has become very meaningful to people. But perhaps a deeper question to consider, perhaps the real question is not how can I help, but how can I serve? Serving is different from helping. Helping is based on inequality. It's not a relationship between equals. When you use your own strength to help that of another lesser strength, that's what helping is. If I'm attentive to what's going on inside of me when I'm helping, I find that I'm always helping someone who's not as strong as I and who's needier than I. People feel this inequality. When we help, we may actually be taking more away from people than we could ever give them. And we might diminish their self-esteem, their sense of worth, integrity, and wholeness. When I help, I'm always aware of my own strength. But when we don't serve with our strength, we are serving ourselves. Did you hear that? I know, I was like, did I hear it? Did I say it right? But we don't serve with our strength. We don't serve with our strength. We serve with ourselves. So the whole thing of me goes on. And I am aware of my own strength. I just read that. Keep going. We draw from all of our experiences. This is important. Our limitations serve. Our wounds serve. Even our darkness can serve. The wholeness in us serves the wholeness in others and the wholeness in life. The wholeness in you is the same wholeness in me. Service is a relationship between equals. Helping incurs debt. When you help someone, they may think that they owe you one, but serving like healing is mutual, and there is no debt. I am served as much as the person is that I'm serving. When I help, I have a feeling of satisfaction. When I serve, I have a feeling of gratitude. I'm going to say that again. When I help, I feel satisfaction. But when I serve, I feel a feeling of gratitude. That's a profound difference. The bottom line, and she goes on to talk about fixing people. One example of what happens in a spiritual counseling session with me, people ask me questions. I don't answer their questions usually. I don't, because I recognize that the person in front of me has all the answers within themselves. Don't come to me to look for an answer, because I'll just put it back to you, because I believe that you have the answer. I'm not wanting to take away what you already have. You just perhaps don't know it, right? So that's my position in a spiritual counseling session, is to redirect, ask a question back, because I know you got the answer somewhere in there, and you just don't think about that as so. So she talks about fixing, so she goes into this part. The bottom line is that we can fix without serving, we can help without serving, and we can serve without fixing or helping. I think it would go so far to say that fixing and helping might be the work of the ego. Fixing and serving might be the action of the ego. Listen to this. And the service, the service we work is of the soul. When you're serving, it's coming from the soul. They may look similar from the outside, but the inner experience is different, and the outcome is often different too. So, did you learn something about this in this share? I know I did, and it's always good to be reminded. So, how many of you know how many sacred service teams we have here at Unity Santa Fe? Anybody guess? Yes. James. Oh, you're not going to say that, okay. Good. We have 28 service teams here at Unity Santa Fe. That's a lot of service teams. So how many of you are on a service team? Raise your hands. Awesome. How many of you are on more than one service team? Okay. I would like all the people that have ever served on a service team or are on one now to please stand. Okay, I want everyone to give everyone who's standing some love, and thank you. Thank you so much for your service, and please be seated. I am so grateful, because people sometimes think that the minister is kind of like the organization, and that I'm the key. And the truth is, I am not. It's all of you. We wouldn't be Unity Santa Fe without you bringing your gifts and serving this community. Because really what sacred servers are is, because we recognize that everyone's the divine. We are the divine serving the divine in others. I don't think we think about that when we're bringing food, maybe in a potluck, or when we're out doing the cleaning up of the campus, or if we're on a welcoming team. They might think about every person walking in that they are the divine, because we're well trained to think this way. But I'm going to share towards the end of the service about some actual ways that you can make your serving even more sacred. But however, I would like to call up our sacred server of the year of 2024. Would you like to know who that is? Yes. Jeannie Coffrin, would you come up, please? Thank you. This was consent. I know she's like surprised. We did good at not telling you, because right now she's the president of the board, and so the board said, no, we're not telling her, but we're all in agreement. So she moved from Farmington, New Mexico, here. Was that in 2022? Yep. And she moved here to be a part of this community. She was watching through Zoom, moved here to be a part of this community. And boy, she wasn't really knowing how much she would be in the community. Last year alone, she served as a prayer practitioner. She served as a platform assistant. She served as the vice president of the board of trustees. She served in Soul Circle facilitation. She served on the community action team, and she served in co-creating the fair, the Sacred Server Fair, with me. So, she's been just hanging out, not doing anything. So that's why we want to give her this gift and our thank you so much. Well deserved. She's like, oh, I can't believe it. I'm like, really? We kept the secret. Good job, everybody. Who knew? And we do have cards of after the service. One of them is in your bag, but we have another one that I'll be making available after the service if you also want to put your love in there. So, to be a sacred server is to be love in action. And we believe that everybody has a gift to share, because each one of you is a unique, individualized expression of divine love that no one can express like you. And you might not think that you have a gift to give and to share and to serve with. Throw that idea out, because who you are, and just by your presence, you are serving others. There's no doubt in my mind that we are God beings here to serve one another. For those of you who have yet to be on a service team or might want to be, dear Wanda Brown helped put this together. We have the 28 sacred service team descriptions, as well as a information form where you can put your name and your contact information, and all of them are listed here, and you can put check boxes that you're interested in. Please turn these into the office. You can fill this out today, or please take one of these home so you can spend more time with it. And I would say, do a little prayer. Ask Spirit where it wants to serve by means of you. And you'll know, because you'll have that feeling, like, I'd like to be part of the flower team. I'd like to be part of the production team. That one usually people go, oh no, not production. Well, if you can operate a cell phone, you can work in the production booth, just letting you know. So these are, they're up at the welcome desk. So if you didn't get one, that's where they're located. Okay, so every one of us is important. Let me say that again. Every one of us is important. I don't know about you, but one of my wounds as a child that I believed was that I wasn't important. Ow. We all have our wounds. But see, the wounds are part of my being able to serve because I honor all of my stuff. And then when I can look at you, Karen, and I can go, I hear you. And sometimes it's just hearing each other. And I don't like to really necessarily say, oh, I know, I never want to say, I know how you feel because I blah, 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 and tell my story. But I want to be there for each and every one of you, to hear you, because we have similar, but we're not the same. So, would you like to know the 3 essential conscious service practices that will help you become a sacred server, not just a, quote, server? And you might want to jot these down, or not. So, number 1, there's 3 major ones with a few, what those mean. The first one, to be a sacred server, is to prepare. Prepare? Yes, to prepare. And that means that you're centering yourself before any activity. It means you're taking a breath before you walk into this building, okay? Centering yourself before you're doing something. Take a breath and just be aligned with the one that's breathing you. Open your heart and say, Spirit, use me today, however you wish, use me. I am here to express as you would have me, and also to remember why I'm here. What's your purpose in life? That usually puts people into, I don't know. Well, mine is simple. My purpose is to love people. Doesn't have to be complicated what your purpose is. I'm here to serve. I'm here to be who I came here to be. Number 2, okay, once we've prepared, now we're serving. So number 2 is serving. And that is by seeing the face of the divine in everybody that you're looking at. So I stand up here and I just go, boy, the divine sure is cute. In all of her and his expressions, of its expressions, because you're the divine. Whether you get that or not, I get it. Number 2 of this serving is that you're fully present in every moment. Wow. How many times are we not so present? I'm practicing like the Balinese, being more present, which I just got back from Bali the beginning of the month. And here's the one I love. To move beyond the doingness of tasks to the beingness of service. I'll say that again. To move beyond the doingness of tasks to the beingness of service. That one just caught me. I was like, yeah, I just want to be the beingness, not the task, because we get very task-oriented. I know I do. And number 3, we've prepared, we're serving, and to celebrate. And identify all the gifts that we received that day. At the end of the day, how was I in service? How was I sick? Oh, I got to help this person out the door, with their groceries. I helped, and I received such love back because we always receive more than what we give. That's what my understanding. Number 2, I give thanks for the opportunity to serve. I get an opportunity. Here we give you opportunities. That is a gift. And to acknowledge yourself and others for the blessings that we are sharing together. So I'm going to close with a quote from Marianne Williamson in The Return to Love. She says, no matter what we do, it can become our ministry. We are here to minister to human hearts. If we talk to anyone, see anyone, think about anyone, we can bring more love to this universe. Any job and task can be a ministry as long as it is dedicated to love. Yes. Our ministry becomes a joyous experience for ourselves and others as we let a mysterious force direct us. We simply follow instructions. We allow God's Spirit to move through us using our gifts and our resources as we are guided to serve. We can serve on our own or we can become part of a team. And being a part of a team, there's a couple acronyms. You pick the one you like best. Together, everyone accomplishes more. Together, everyone accomplishes more. And then there's the one, whichever one works for you, or together, everyone achieves more. Achieve, accomplish, we do more when we are together in a team. And there are so many blessings to be a part of a team. One thing, you get to know people, right? You get to know people when you're working on a team. You're connecting, and you can actually become friends. Just saying. And aren't friends like the best thing ever? And you want to have friends. So that's what I got for you today. Thank you for being in service in all the ways you are. Bless you. Namaste.